Hello, good evening, and thanks for choosing to stay with us on the network service of the NTA. It is time to bring you Weekend File. Welcome to the show. A coin is part of a nation's currency denomination. In Nigeria, a lot of reasons have been given for the failure of the coins in the past. Some of the reasons adduced include the absence of dispensing machines and relevant point-of-sale terminals, the discomforting bulk feeling for those carrying them, and their apparent low purchasing value. In the case of Nigeria, not only that the nation's lowest denomination coin is not in circulation, but all of its coins. Over time, there has been blames for why this situation persisted, with everyone blaming someone else. But when the 1 naira, the 2 naira, and 50 kobo coins were reintroduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria, there were expectations that their availability would dampen the upward price push, which the absence of these denominations brought about. That is, that price can be expected to be more competitive, and the often forgone change at petrol stations and other consumer mass markets can now be recovered, and the usual attrition related to such transactions in the past will be avoided. Investigation reveals that acceptability of coins as a means of carrying out transactions is dependent on the value coins command and pure perception by the economic unit. So many blame the central bank for not making those coins ubiquitous, which would have made them indispensable and attractive for business transactions in the country. So tonight, we will examine the effects of non-usage of coins on Nigerian economy. Where is the place of the coins in the cashless economy? Why are the automated teller machine ATMs operating in Nigeria not configured to dispense coins in the first place? These and other related issues as we begin another session of news, views, and analysis. This is Weekend File. My name is Nigerian. Thanks again for joining us. And the news beat for tonight. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has held its World Congress nationwide this Saturday. Part 12, subsection 1 of the electoral guideline for 2014 primary elections of the PDP stipulates that each world chapter of the party shall elect 3 world ad hoc delegates at a special World Congress for the offices of governor of a state, member of the National Assembly, and a member of the State House of Assembly. President Goodluck Jonathan and the First Lady Dame Patience joined other PDP members to elect delegates at the World Congress in Ward 13 in Abuja local government area of Bayelsa State. State House correspondent Shegu Laolu reports that the Congress was peaceful. His report.
Otuabula 1 and 2, Otuoke, Otuaba, and Ewoy are the 5 communities that make up Ward 13 in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, with the Ward 13 headquarters located at Otuabula 2 and the venue of the PDP Ward 13 Congress. It is incumbent on the president, however, to return to the root, his community and his people, on whose shoulders he climbed to the top as a politician. Before the election of delegates at the Congress, President Jonathan and the First Lady received the new membership card before signing the party's membership register. As the Congress went underway, 3 members were presented to the Congress and were elected unopposed in line with the constitutional provisions of the party through a voice vote in the presence of INEC officials and the representative from the national headquarters of the PDP.
Those who are in favor of the candidates before you, say yes.
President Jonathan expressed appreciation to members for a peaceful election of delegates, reiterating that all elections in the country must be peaceful.
Politics is all about people, not about you imposing yourself on the people. If the people want you, you serve. It's about service. if you really want to serve, and if people say no, you will pull out. But if you have a different agenda, then of course you want to intimidate, you want to use every means, carrying weapons, guns, killing, to hold offices. That means that you have a different motive for wanting to hold that office. Those who genuinely want to serve don't carry weapons to intimidate people, to steal the mandate, if you really want to serve.
He described the election of delegates in a peaceful manner as a sacred mandate, devoid of compromise.
Because if you allow yourself to be induced and you get the wrong people elected to represent us at various levels, then the state, the country is doomed.
I want to ask Ward 13 to do one thing for me today, to prove to the world that you are number one.
From Otuabula 2, headquarters of Ward 13 in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, Shagulawale, NTA News.
In the meantime, Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo attended the PDP Kabbalah Ward 5 Congress of the Kaduna local government area. He urged supporters to sustain their loyalty to the party from the ward to the national level in the forthcoming general elections. State House correspondent Hamza Musamakrafi has that report.
The Congress was peaceful as Vice President Namadi Sambo attended in company of Ambassador Nuhu Bajoga, Deputy Governor of Kaduna State. After due diligence, Alhaji Hussein Baba, Ahmad Umar Jigo, and Hajia Karimatu Ishaq unanimously emerged as the three delegates of the party from the ward. In remarks, Vice President Sambo said good governance will be sustained by the PDP at all levels of leadership in the country.
I will seize the opportunity to again call on all of us, both PDP and other parties, to have a peaceful and successful election. Inshallah, PDP will come as the winner.
The Vice President formally welcomed Alhaji Ahmadi, who decamped from one of the political parties to the PDP, as Shehu Giant, Commissioner for Local Government, who presented him, said he is an asset to the party. From Kaduna, I am Hamza Musa Makarpi, NTA News.
Still on PDP World Congress, Senate President David Mark has appealed to the political class to comply with the tenets of democracy and allow the will of the people to prevail. He stated this during the World Congress of the party at Otubu. National Assembly correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The World Congress at the Senate President's Ward 1 Otupu was like a family affair as party members agreed on consensus. Senator Mark, who was visibly elated about the smooth conduct of the exercise, said politics is all about people, and when they freely decide the way to go, credibility will be achieved for sustainable democracy. Given reasons for his bid to return to the Senate in response to the demands by his constituents, the Senate President said it is all about selfless service to the Idoma nation and Nigeria.
I want to assure you that if given the ticket and I go back, I will continue to ensure that the dividends of democracy are delivered to not just my senatorial district, but throughout the length and breadth of this country.
The PDP Ward Chairman, Sunday Ochinta, and a party elder, Barry Idoga, thanked the PDP faithful for keeping faith with the leadership style of the Senate President and expressed optimism that more developmental strides will come the way of the Idoma nation if Senator Mark is re-elected into the Senate. Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Stakeholders in Bayelsa Central Senatorial District have expressed happiness that President Goodluck Jonathan has picked the nomination form for next year's presidential race. Correspondent Doris Akumoye reports that this was at the PDP Secretariat in Yenagoa.
It was a coalition of political bigwigs from the Bayelsa Central Senatorial District who converge in their numbers to the People's Democratic Party Secretary to support the aspirant Doye Diri to submit his intent and nomination forms.
We don't need people who have nothing to bring back home. And the whole of this number here from our constituencies in the Central Senatorial District is in support of this candidate.
It is time for quality, effective and functional representation. there's going to be election. Everybody will contest. And if you win from the grassroots, you take the day.
Other aspirants from the zone pledged their support for the President Goodluck Jonathan re-election bid. Bayelsa Central Senatorial District is made up of Kolokuma Opukuma, Southern Ijaw, and Yenagoa local government areas. In Yenagoa, Doris Akomoye, NTA News.
The governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam, says the All Progressive Congress, APC, is mapping out strategies to ensure a resounding victory in the 2015 polls. Governor Gaidam said this while receiving some members who defected to the party at a rally in Damaturu. He said the APC manifesto and vision are endearing to the people, promising that the party will not disappoint Nigerians.
I feel the formation of the APC as a formidable opposition party is the best thing that has ever happened to Nigeria's democracy in recent times. We have received quite a number of them. I welcome all those who have joined us today and assure them of the level playing field.
Some of the defectors say they are convinced that the APC will deliver dividends of democracy in 2015 elections. The Osun State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo has upheld its earlier order granting leave to the petitioners and respondents in the governorship petition to inspect all electoral materials used during the 9th August election. This followed an application brought by the PDP asking for an acceleration of the inspection process. Correspondent Olabode Arewa reports that the case has been adjourned to the 3rd of November.
Ruling on the application brought by the PDP, praying the tribunal for a leave for the continuation of inspection with or without the respondents, Tribunal Chairman Elizabeth Pojime reaffirmed the earlier order of the tribunal that inspection be conducted with all the parties to the case. The tribunal, however, reserved ruling till Monday, the 3rd of November, on the preliminary objection of the APC and its candidate, Mr. Ralph Aregbesola, along with INEC, questioning the jurisdiction of the tribunal to entertain the PDP's petition. INEC, Aregbesola, and the APC had argued that the PDP did not follow relevant provisions of the 2010 Electoral Act as amended in filing their petition. The PDP, citing various cases to buttress its arguments, prayed the tribunal to allow the petition.
Process or any action or any suit is commenced and without competence, then the tribunal must take it.
And the court said the order still remains, and then INEC said we are ready to cooperate with you to allow you access to the electoral materials.
In Osogbo, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
An attempt to set the Rivers State Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party on fire was foiled by the prompt intervention of security personnel and some good Nigerians. Dagogo Isaac reports that the Secretariat complex is currently under security surveillance.
Some security personnel who spoke off camera said 4 unidentified men attacked the building with 2 gallons of petrol in the early hours of the day. They said they had poured the fuel at the entrance to the ground floor and ignited fire, which incidentally caught up with one of them before they fled the scene. Addressing newsmen at the party secretariat, the state chairman, Mr. Felix Obua, called on the Inspector General of Police to invite and interrogate one Mr. Chris Finebone, whom he alleged is behind the incident. Mr. Obua said the intention of the perpetrators was to frustrate the planned PDP local and world congresses, noting that the exercise would commence as scheduled.
The PDP, however, wishes to reinstate that no amount of intimidation, attack, and blackmail will discourage the party from doing what is just, fair, and equitable by allowing all eminently qualified and interested parties members to contest all levels of election.
He enjoined all aspirants to desist from violent actions and uncomplimentary remarks against the party. In Port Harcourt, Dagogo Isaac, NTA News.
The former military president General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who returned from medical treatment abroad, has appreciated Nigerians for their prayers while he was away. He stated this shortly after his arrival at his hilltop residence in Mina. Mary Nuraberji reports.
Babangida, who returned to the country after receiving medical treatment for 2 months in Germany, arrived Mina International Airport at about 2:50 p.m.
Alhamdulillah, I'm coming up well.
At his Uphill residence, prayer session was held for his safe return and speedy recovery. The general assured journalists that he will engage them in a short while on political development in the country. In Mina, I am Mary Nuraberji, NTA News.
The governor of Gombe State, Dr. Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambu, has visited the scene of the explosion at the Gombe Line terminus, describing the incident as unfortunate and challenging in a state with a relative peace, security and development. Correspondent Osman Aliyu has an update on the Friday explosion.
It's a sorrowful sight here at Gombe Line, a very busy public motor park. The Friday morning explosion killed 8 people. When the incident happened, Gombe State Governor was out of the state for official engagement. Therefore, immediately he returned to the state to have first-hand information about the incident. At the scene of the incident, Governor Dankwambu was informed that 13 vehicles were burned. He also visited Gombe Specialist Hospital, where 6 casualties have been admitted. At Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe, 9 more casualties with different cases, some more pathetic, are also receiving medical attention. Initially, 46 casualties were recorded. Governor Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambu, who assured taking responsibility of the hospital bills, asked people of the state to be calm and allow security agencies to do their job and avoid spreading rumors.
I will continue to call on our people to be very vigilant, to be very observant, and to be very patient. And at this time, I want you media people to join me in calling on our people to avoid speculations, hearsay, and the possibility of taking laws into their own hands. I want people to go about their normal businesses as the situation is under control and normalcy has been restored.
In Gombe, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
The military has stepped up air and land deployment to tackle insurgency as it deploys necessary troops and equipment to reverse all recent violations and breach of security by terrorists and criminals operating in parts of the country. A statement signed by the Director Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, says the highly coordinated air bombardment is yielding results in the mission to repel the unwarranted attacks on citizens, especially in Adamawa and Borno states, stating that land forces are also conducting mopping up operations to apprehend retreating terrorists and facilitate restoration of normalcy in some of the affected communities. The statement further says that the content of a purported video released by terrorists on Friday is being studied and that positions will be made known. It equally states that the military will continue to accord due recognition to any ongoing mediatory efforts towards bringing the abducted Chibok girls home and terminating the insecurity in parts of the country. The federal government, through the Ministry of Power, has signed a memorandum of understanding with a Chinese firm to construct a new national grid system. Mayor Ogidi tells us more.
The Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, who signed on behalf of the federal government, observed that the existing grid line is not competitive enough in Nigeria compared to China, India and the United States of America that have systems that exceed their local consumption. When completed, the National Grid project will launch Nigeria into an industrial revolution.
We will give you all the support. We'll make sure that whatever needs to be done on the side of government to make sure that your aspirations in this regard are met. We cannot continue to service Nigeria with 330 kV system. We should be thinking of 765
With the signing of this MOU, the company is expected to move to site soon. In Abuja, Mie Ogede, NTA News.
The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN, have given the federal government a 14-day ultimatum to tackle labor issues bordering on the operations of the unions, or they go on strike. The union said if this is done, it would bring stability to the industry, as Emmanuel Aimiru reports.
Some of the issues waiting for attention, according to the two unions, include outsourcing of oil workers without condition of service, termination of appointment of union members without terminal benefit, the attempt to remove the national minimum wage from the exclusive list, among others.
It is so painful that workers whose jobs have been terminated since last year, September, are yet to be paid their terminal benefit. And we have also asked the agencies involved. We are told AMCOM has taken over the assets of this company and has refused to pay these workers. We're using this medium to compel and to appeal to AMCOM to make sure that these workers' terminal benefits are paid.
While urging the federal government to provide necessary facilities to upgrade the Petroleum Training Institute in Delta State, the unions also called on the National Assembly to give accelerated hearing to the Petroleum Industry Bill, as the current law establishing the NNPC had become obsolete. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiru, NTA News.
The National Insurance Commission has resolved to continue to collaborate with educational institutions in the country to improve the education sector. The Commissioner, Fola Daniel, said this at the commissioning of a digital center at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Correspondent Sagil Mohammed Awal reports.
The commissioner noted that the commission ventured into projects based on the earlier Memorandum of Understanding signed between National Insurance Commission and University. Mr. Fola Daniel said about 93 million naira was expended on the project.
Our sponsoring this project is a support and belief in the President's vision for financial literacy. This is just the beginning of the relationship and partnership with NICOM. We'll join together to ensure that the manpower development in this area is at hand and maintained.
Some stakeholders speak on the project.
We are not done with the AVU. We are ready to appropriate more money in 2015 if there is any other project that is supposed to be done in AVU.
I believe this is going to be a very wonderful intervention that will assist strengthen the department in the area of actuarial science and insurance.
The projects commissioned were digital center, lecture room, and 100 kVA generator, all cited at the Department of Business Administration of the Institute.
This digital center will afford lecturers the opportunity to interact with students from a far distance. In Zaria, Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
All over the world, coins form an integral part of legal tender as currencies. Some economists believe this is an important stabilizer of nations' economies. However, the story is different in Nigeria, where the coins are virtually out of circulation due to non-usage since the last batch was produced during the currency restructuring of 2007. Stay with us for a closer look at this after the break.
The jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Good luck, Jonathan. is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Sheyi Makinde, stimulating attitudinal changes and initiating radical thinking. Sheyi Makinde, the man of his words, an achiever per excellence, imbibing public confidence and enlist mass participation in governance. Sheyi Makinde, a philanthropist, driving a collective vision of a people of your state in a unique way. Sheyi Makinde, a man of the people and a silent achiever. Sheyi Makinde can be trusted to do more.
We will change the future of our state for the better.
Sheyi Makinde, the man for change.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved. Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Can this provider of free education at all levels in Imo State guarantee free qualitative education at all levels in Nigeria? Can this man who stopped kidnapping and armed robbery in Imo stop continuous insurgency, bloodletting and violence in Nigeria? Can this Nigerian born an Igbo man raised up by the North and financially empowered by the West guarantee peace and unity in the country? Can this man who rescued Imo within 3 years rescue the economy of Nigeria? Can this torchbearer of the new generation create jobs for the teeming unemployed youth of Nigeria?
For this reason, Arewa People's Grand Coalition invites all to a reception in honor of the Denjekan Sokoto Owele Anayorocha Sokorocha on Monday, 3rd November 2014 by 11 a.m. at the Ranchers Bees Township Stadium, Kaduna. Nigeria must be better.
Experience Katsina.
Home of a vibrant history, a culture of pride and peace. Centuries of tradition have built a solid foundation.
Invest in Katsina.
The future is here. Opportunity is everywhere. Nestled in northwest Nigeria, it's the home of untapped resources, solar and wind energy, and solid minerals.
Grow Katsina.
From the fertile land and the seeds of potential, grow cotton, corn, rice, and livestock. Katsina is the breadbasket for Nigeria and the region, home to the most important resource of all, our people.
Explore Katsina's potentials. Come invest in Katsina.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria.
My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what they have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality.
Good luck!
Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life.
Good luck!
Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle.
Good luck!
There you are. Petrol and nyaf with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do. And good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck have faced the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment, fighting terrorism to a halt.
May good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Down for one vision, Nigeria.
The Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Public Affairs, announces a public affairs forum holding at the Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. The theme, the Jonathan Administration, 4 Impactful Years. The forum will be an interactive session with professional groups, civil society organizations, the organized private sector, youth, women groups, trade, student union, market men, women, and invited members of the general public on the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Dates: Monday, November 3rd, 2014. Honorable Ministers of Health, Agriculture, and Education. Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. Honorable Ministers of Works, Trade, and Investment and Finance. Attendance is strictly by invitation. This program will be transmitted live on NTA on the days mentioned. Signed, Dr. Doyin Okukbe, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Public Affairs.
You are watching Weekend File on the NTA network service. Thanks for staying with us as we are set to tackle tonight's issue. From pre-independence era, when the first set of coins were introduced to the mid-1990s, coins were generally used for payment of goods and services. Gradually, coins became less acceptable. Today, coins are almost extinct in the Nigerian economy. Shikiola Ikbenaye takes the story from here.
In the 60s, coins were an integral part of the Nigerian currency, with pounds, shillings, and pence in use. In January 1973, the pounds, shillings, and pence were dropped with the introduction of naira and kobo. There were 4 denominations of 1 naira, 5 naira, 10 naira, and 20 naira in notes, while 1 kobo, 5 kobo, 10 kobo, and 25 kobo were in coins. In 1984, the 50 naira note was introduced, and gradually coin usage was no longer fashionable. The former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Charles Soludo, in another naira reconstruction in 1999 and mid-2000, introduced higher denominations of 100 naira, 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes. By then, the use of coins for day-to-day transaction in Nigeria was only found in history.
The last time I can remember I saw coins was in 2001 in Zaria, and I used it in buying Goruba.
In 2007, new coins denominations of 50 kobo, 1 naira, and 2 naira were issued, with an argument that the introduction would revive the culture of coin usage in the Nigerian economy as practiced in developed economies. But far from it, as the situation then appeared worse, just as presented in this scenario.
If you collect it, you can't spend it too.
But that's another problem.
Take
it from my hand.
If I see where I can spend the coins, I will collect. But since I know that if I collect it, nobody will take it from me, I won't collect because it means that I've just thrown away my money.
There's a way government can force and ensure strict compliance to ensure that all denominations, irrespective of whether it is note or coin, it is accepted.
In August 2010, the Central Bank of Nigeria announced its plan to restructure the naira again and reintroduce coins in 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, and 50 naira denominations. The decision generated a heated controversy in the country, as many argued that the move will jack up an already high inflation. The case became so heated up that the Nigerian Senate had to halt the CBN's decision. Then the status quo remained, with 50 kobo, 1 naira, and 2 naira coins remaining a viable legal tender in Nigeria, but a legal tender that is not acceptable in transaction. In Abuja, Shikiola Ikbenaye, NTA News.
Thank you, Shikiola. And in the southeast, this story is the same, with stakeholders stressing that it has adversely affected the economy. Chegon Arrow takes a look at the situation.
A closer look at rural markets shows a non-existent coin exchange in transactions. It's very heavy. carry it. They are not using concentrate. If they give you concentrate, give another person.
If you take coins to the to any commercial bank today, and it's a legal tender, and you want to save it, of course you will save it.
Financial experts in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi state capital, have advocated a review of the country's monetary policy with a view to shoring up the value and purchasing power of the lower denominations of the nation's currency, which are in coins.
But the fact that people are forced to pay more than or higher than they should pay implies an inflationary trend.
This is the purchasing power of our currency. From Oka comes a report that the policy introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria was in line with the Vision 2020 aimed at reducing cost of banking services and to improve effectiveness of monetary policy in managing inflation and driving economy. Some rural communities in Anambra State, many people noted poor service by the ATM, adding that the cashless policy has relegated the use of coins, which they say pushes up inflation and encourages corruption.
For the central bank or the federal government sensitize the masses, we create more awareness to Nigerians about the need and use of these coins.
In Enugu, Chiegonu Aro, NTA News.
And up ahead, a live discussion on the impact of non-usage of coins on the Nigerian economy. Don't go away.
I don't want to enter their drama. I don't want to get involved. Wait, hold on. Friend Aisha wants to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah, Aisha. Yeah, it's me, Pasuma. Okay, thank you. Hang on.
Oh, my, can you talk to my friend Lillian, please? Thank you so much.
Hello, Lillian. Yeah, definitely, it's me. Yeah, Pasuma. Oh, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, hold on.
Hello? Okay. Oh, please, can you talk to my friend Oye? He's the last person coming. Thank you.
Hello.
Call any network with Glow Jollof recharge for just 50 naira. Enjoy 6 minutes call time plus 6 text messages. Simply dial *0805 *50#. Also available in 25 naira packs.
Okay, let's take pictures. All right, thank you so much. Oh, wait, one person!
Glow Unlimited.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
KwaZulu-Natal. Tough to say, even tougher to drive. Sounds like one for the Ranger. Out here, even when the road stops, it just keeps on going. And even way down, it keeps powering on. Built for any challenge. Ford Ranger.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Auntie,
Hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats and contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for a healthy family.
I'll buy Power Oil next time I go shopping, huh?
Power Oil, healthy for you.
Love is the greatest of all virtues. The Holy Bible and the Holy Quran tell us so. Love is not boastful. Love is humble, cool under pressure. Love is hope for the next generation. Love is the North, East, West, and South living in unity. Love is progress despite adversity. It makes the impossible possible. Love is a secure nation with prosperity for all. Love is transformation. We need more love. Good luck, Abele Jonathan, driven by love for God and country. Mr. President, we appreciate you. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
And you're welcome back. Olufemi Fabauyo, the Director, Currency Operations in the Central Bank of Nigeria, now joins me to discuss the issues raised in the course of this program. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
All right. Low denominational coins are important economically in most parts of the world. That's talking about other countries of the world. Why is it different in Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. In Nigeria, I think it's basically an attitudinal issue. There seems to be a general apathy for the coins, for the use of coins. Let me be specific. First, you see that there is very low purchasing power for the coins. We have only 3 denominations. We have 2 naira, 1 naira, and 50 kobo. So there's a very low purchasing power for the coins. Let me also illustrate that. In 1980, when we had the highest denomination of naira being 20 naira, that 20 naira was the equivalent of about $36. Today, now we have 1,000 as the highest denomination, and it's at 168 naira to $1 is roughly $6. So that shows you how much the naira has actually come down in terms of its purchasing power. And so when you have the highest denomination of coins being 2 naira, what can it buy? And to make it matters worse, you find that retailers actually, when they can sell items as small as sweets, will, rather than sell 1 sweet for 2 naira, they will say, okay, it's 3 for 5 naira, so that you can actually get a note rather than a coin for it. So that's one reason, the low purchasing power. The second is that the coin transaction infrastructure is not actually in Nigeria. I'm talking about you having dispensing machines that accept coins, you having energy metering system that accept coins, and so on and so forth. So that is not very much with us in Nigeria. The few that we have actually accept mainly notes rather than coins.
You see, that is where I have to come in, because you said it is attitudinal, so Nigerians don't want to deal with it. Secondly, you also talked about purchasing power that he doesn't have. The value is very low. Now, whose responsibility will it be now to ensure that they will have more denominations in coins, number one? Number two, who approved some of the dispensing machines that we have as ATMs around the country? No provision was made ab initio, by the regulatory body or whoever enforces that, to see that this dispensing machine should have provision for the coins, which we have here, and which is also a legal tender. So I think it may be both attitudinal and, of course, some negligence of duty in one way or another. What's your take on that?
Well, you won't call it negligence because yes, it is true that the central bank has responsibility to have, to make available all the denominations. But, it's also an issue around restructuring of the currency series that we have. And you recall that there was an attempt to do that, and we got a pushback. And so the situation is currently as it was then. So that's one thing that accounted for that. But dispensing machines are mainly introduced by manufacturers and retailers. So it's not really the responsibility of the central bank. And then the ATMs are also, introduced by banks, even though we regulate them. But you see that ATMs are not really in Nigeria, where we are only trying to make sure that people are not so much in the banking halls. We are trying to decongest banking halls. You can't have ATMs that will be dispensing coins, because the value that we really want are more. We need more value than what you get from coins. But there are other reasons, actually. The pricing system, the pricing structure in Nigeria is also a factor. What I'm talking about is that whereas you find in other countries prices being something like 10 naira 99 kobo, in such a situation, when you make a purchase, you actually will have to take back coins as your change. So that is not here very much. Now we usually round up our prices such a way that you really don't need coins. But even in shops, big shops, where they give you back your change in coins, we have seen situations where Nigerians actually reject those coins. They don't take them, they leave them there, because they feel that it cannot buy them anything. And so that's another big issue. Then enlightenment perhaps is necessary, so that we can actually educate and make aware, so that people can then realize the benefits that are in the usage of coins.
Now, you've said that. What is the CBN's policy or stand on coin as currency in Nigeria?
It's legal tender. Simple.
Whose duty, who enforces, well, should it actually be enforced? Or is there any economic methodology or whatever that you could do to make people accept it? Because from the point you raised, that instead of selling one sweet, 2 naira, which is its worth, or 1 naira as the case may be, you say 3, 5 naira, because 5 naira is a note, right? If 5 naira becomes a coin, for instance, 10 naira becomes a coin, for instance, wouldn't that take care of that attitudinal fact you mentioned earlier?
Absolutely. I can agree with you very much on that. And like I said earlier, that attempt was actually made earlier to see whether we can introduce those higher denominations of coins. And we got a pushback from Nigerians. And the survey that we got was as if we were not ready for higher denominations of coins at that time. But that's not the end of the story. Sometime in the future, perhaps, this might be introduced with good buy-in, with good enlightenment, and then trying to sensitize members of the public before it is introduced. Perhaps that will help.
So presently, there's no plan towards that?
Well, I cannot say there's no plan. At the same time, I think it's something that is within our purview to review, and it's something that I'm sure in the near future you might be hearing something about it.
Okay, one aspect I'd like us to talk about is the weight of these coins, right? Some say they reject it because they are heavy and you can't just have like 4 or 5 coins in your pocket at the same time, because you begin to feel the weight of it. Is there anything that could be done that so that when next you want to restructure these currencies and you want to do something on coins to make it lighter?
Sure. When we introduced this current set of coins, the attempt was actually made to ensure that they are much lighter than the ones we had in the past. Indeed, they're actually lighter than the ones that we had in the past. And particularly, even the 2 naira and 1 naira are bimetallic and actually lighter. So in the future, if even higher denominations will be introduced, every effort will be put on the table to ensure that they are actually lighter. light enough for you to carry, and comparable to what you find anywhere else in the world.
In your opinion, how has the non-usage of coins impacted on the nation's economy?
I think it's actually, the impact is much more than we realize. What you find is that because you are not using coins, which has a longer lifespan of about 25 years, you now will be forced to use notes. And that increases the printing of notes, it increases the velocity of those notes and the need to replace them. So that's one point. The second is that, you know, if you don't use coins, you are forced to round up your transactions. That is, you end up with a naira. I mean, you don't have denominations in kobo. Yes. And that means that we are not actually having very accurate accounting to that extent. Then again, when you look at the costs and benefits of using coins and the cost of printing notes, which actually has a lifespan of about 4 to 6 months relative to coins that has 25 years lifespan, you see that we are actually spending a lot of money printing banknotes when we should be using coins for lower denominations, which are high velocity denominations. I think these are just the main reasons, and the impact is actually much more than we realize.
So you would go for currency restructuring policy to effect these changes, since it has adverse effects on the economy. But let me take you also back to the issue of banks who acquired the ATMs, knowing fully well that we have a legal tender in coins and brought things that do not have provision for the coins. So, and you are perhaps the apex bank in this country who should monitor the activities of these banks, because already they are encouraging the non-usage of coins. Because if you have to give somebody money in the bank and you include coins, if you reject it, there you go. If it has continued and it can be dispensed by the ATM, I see no reason why Nigerians should not change that attitude. So what are you thinking in that direction?
Well, I would say that if you are a service organization, you are expected to give to your customers what they want. To that extent, if you are a banker and your customer does not want to have coins, you cannot really force coins on your customer. It's available. Those who request it, like those who have outlets, shops and supermarkets and all that, some of them request it and they have it. So it's available. So you can't really force it on them. The second thing is that if you are talking about ATMs, the same reason applies to that as well. If people really will not be going to ATMs to take coins, they want banknotes, why will you then have ATMs that will be dispensing coins? I think these were the reasons behind it. But as coins or coin usage becomes more acceptable, I think we'll begin to have machines that dispense it. You'll begin to see them over the counter in the banks.
Well, someone told me a short while ago before this program that it's only in the jackpot game areas that the coins are available in Nigeria. And when one wins a jackpot, you carry the coins to the bank will now give you notes. So to round up this particular discussion, what is the way forward?
Well, the way forward is for us to have a concerted effort. One, we should be thinking of a redesign that can introduce higher denomination coins that will be more acceptable. And then we'll support that with publicity and sensitization. And then we need to have a pricing structure that facilitates the use of coins. That is such that you have 99 kobo, 95 kobo, and then you have your change back in coins. And then you also need to have dispensing machines that facilitate it. And then our accounting system should be such that should allow us actually to be able to make transactions to the nearest or to the last kobo possible. It's a concerted effort.
All right, thank you very much for educating Nigerians on this issue, and thank you for also honoring our invitation. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you very much.
Olufemi Fabanwo is the Director, Currency Operations in the Central Bank of Nigeria, who joined me for discussion on tonight's issue on Weekend File. Happenings in the world of sports is next. Stay with us.
Transformation is not a day's job, but because you believe, the process has begun. Quality education, world-class airports, railway system, good roads, graduate internship scheme. You win to support young existing entrepreneurs. However, a great nation is never built by the government alone. Support the transformation agenda. This message was brought to you by Project 774, where government meets the governed.
Newly elected board of the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) promises to show transparency in its dealings with stakeholders as they continue to sell the new NFF to corporate Nigeria. Results from Barclays Premier League plus finalists emerged for Sunday's final of the ATP World Tour in Paris. Henry Efium has more.
President of the newly elected board of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, says with the quality of technocrats that make up the new executive, significant milestones will be recorded in Nigerian football. He assured stakeholders that the new executive is driven by the passion to succeed.
This is a new football federation with a new thinking, with a new focus, and with a new direction. Our definition of victory goes beyond winning trophies. We want to define what's called a sustainable football culture in this country.
The way the Nigerian league has been structured is fine, but I think that this new board that we see is very serious about its work.
And in the Barclays Premier League, leaders Chelsea maintained their 100% record with a Hartford 2-1 victory over visiting Queen's Park Rangers. Arsenal put 3 past winless Burnley at the Emirates, with informed Sanchez getting a brace. In the other results, Victor Moses scored his Stoke City's 2-2 draw against West Ham. Newcastle beat Liverpool 1-0, while Southampton defeated Hull City also by a lone goal. In tennis, finalists for the PNB Paribas ATP World Tour Masters in Paris emerged Saturday evening as world number 1 Novak Djokovic subdued Kei Nishikori 6-2, 6-3 to set up an interesting final with 7th seed Milos Raonic. Canadian Raonic beat Thomas Berdych 6-3, 3-6, 7-5 in one of the semi-finals to secure his berth in the Masters final. With sports updates, Henry Efium, NTA News.
And that's our package tonight. But before we go, it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And this is where we call it a day. Thanks for your company and good night.
Every time there is conflict and violence, women suffer loss. That is why the women of Nigeria are saying, let there be peace.
Let us love one another. Let us live together. We have no other country to go than Nigeria. Carry the message of peace to your walls. Carry it to your local government. Carry it to your states.
Let there be peace.
This message is brought to you by Rural Initiative for Poverty Alleviation, Development and Empowerment.
This is the network service of the NTA.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.